Yo, what's going on, guys? Rick here. Today I'm coming at you guys with my first YouTube base tour, the Primus. I've actually been getting pretty decent at building recently, so I've decided to start uploading a couple YouTube videos of the bases I've been making. Here we have a nice little circle base, super cheap to build, super cozy to live in. Throwing up the build cost on the top left of your screen right now so you can see what you're working with. But we got a little mini China wall shell circle base here. Super cool footprint, super defendable, super tanky. And yeah, here's the tour. So first we're walking through our compound, our outer compound outside of the shell. We got three-sided bedrooms with some pretty nasty peaks out into your compound, some box storage above. You know, airlock door so you can't get deeped. Here's more symmetrical peaks going around the base. Nice little airlock with the front gate. You can see some nasty turret angles and some nasty brutalist peaks slash Heglich horizontal embrasure broken peaks. As you can see, base is three-way symmetrical all the way around. Super simple to build, super cheap, super easy. More bedrooms, more bedrooms, more bedrooms. So walking into the shell here, we have the same two triangle, super strong Heglich sand spray peaks. You can see your way in, saw a little spot for a battery there, locker, whatever you want to put. It's three ways into the base, three ways into the shell. Showing some more of the peaks right here. Obviously enough room for refinery. Got your own little secluded bedroom spot for early game little kits, raid defense, what have you. Not in the door path of the base. Perfect spot for some shotgun traps as well, as you can see. And there you can see a sneak preview of the nasty shooting floor we have on this base. Super cozy, super defendable early. Honestly, just a great base overall. Yeah, I've really been loving those horizontal embrasure peaks. Here we'll drop down in the core. You can see you have enough room for 3 or 4 bags, depending on how many deployables you have. Also have a nice little early game stair bunker. Our most favorite, easiest to build bunker in the game right there. So you can see we did a little triangle. You're going to see in the build tour, we did the tutorial. We do 2 half walls to set that up there. Super easy to place, super easy to break, super simple. Replaced right there, you got your bunker back. Sealed at any time from below. So here's our second story. Great room for some storage, barrels, extra loot. Jump up into the 3rd floor. This is kind of like your open core bedroom, roam room, retake room. Couple spots for kits, couple spots for some gnarly peek downs onto your entrances there. Some peeks out long as well. Like I said, this horizontal embrasure peak has just been nasty, especially with these new shelves here. You just set it up the right way with a brutalist peak. Room for a tier 2, plenty more boxes. You can see we got a nice little retake here for the early top-down raids. When your neighbors try to erase you from the wipe. And we're gonna go up here into the 4th story, or the shooting floor. Now this is my favorite part of the base right here. Enough room for a bunch of bags, bunch of boxes, bunch of beds, all tucked away from the shooting floor so they can't get shot out. And you can see these nasty little peek downs. Shout out to Crow for showing me how to do these. So these are the low wall shell peek outs and peek ins. Really good angles just all around. Nasty angles. If they're inside the shell, outside the shell, outside the base, you got room for lockers, you got room for everything you need, batteries. Split it up, separate sides. Peaks are all symmetrical, all the way around 360 degrees. Look at those peaks, so absolutely disgusting angles. And then we're gonna show you symmetrical right here, 3-way symmetrical. All right, now jumping up to the roof, we got some more horizontal embrasures, some retakes on the roof, some peek outs, some nasty little peek downs. The usual half wall window peaks. As you can see, some peeks through into the shooting floor and the floor below. Here's the roof. Bunch of space for storage. A couple vending machine bunkers, a couple regular vending machines, beds, boxes, lockers, waterfalls, you name it, we got everything. Door peaks straight down onto the compound gate. In case they want to blow in that way instead of going through the extra couple layers of walls. Yeah, overall super nice and cozy roof as well. As you can see, the peak right there. Space for vending machine tucked away. Bedroom repeats also got some angles down to the shooting floor in the shell. Kind of those same angles as the floor below. A little bit tighter though. Yeah, once again, really nasty peek down onto that gate. Got a little waterfall for once you kill the raider. Take no fall damage, grab his rockets, scurry your butt back inside of the base. And yeah, that's the tour. So let's build this real quick, guys. I just realized in the tour I missed a couple things. I'm gonna go over the bunker, the externals, and also I want to showcase one of the peaks that I missed in the tour real quick. So the externals are non-disconnectable. If you get raided, you're gonna have to just blow them out with a molly, incense shells, fire arrows, whatever you got. Really not that bad. Think about how often you've actually used your disconnectable TCs. I can make a short for you guys on the new disconnectables if you guys like. Leave a comment and I can do that if you guys want to see that. And then also I wanted to show real quick the stair bunker for those who don't know. We're gonna place a twig triangle here in the build. You'll see that we do 2 half walls, so we can always place that. You cannot place this here with no furnace and upgrade this, or else you will brick the bunker, so make sure you do not do that. And then you are going to place a stair right here. Upgrade this to whatever build that you wanted to, armored or metal, depending on how rich you guys are. And whenever you want to get rid of it, peel these 2 windows off. You'd have glass windows right here. Shoot that out, and you now have no bunker. So yeah, make sure you guys do not place a triangle here. Use the furnace for a jump up if you want. You can also do a triangle frame, and there's the grill you can place if that works better for you. But the furnace is honestly just better for space-wise, so you can fit your tier 2, whatever. So yeah, make sure you're doing that. And then also, real quick, just wanted to show off this peak. I didn't really showcase it too well on the tour. This Brutalist ramp peak is disgusting. Probably the best peak in the game right now, other than like a floor stack, you know, super tiny pixel peak. But I'd say this is the easiest, most meta peak right now. If they're raiding through this gate, which they most likely will, because it will look like it's the best route instead of going through multiple walls, you're gonna have this turret, this box angle, this angle, and obviously your roof angle. So basically any floor you spawn on, you're gonna spawn, kill these guys. Every floor is protected from super stupid big raid base. They're probably gonna build to raid you with the 15 men. And yeah, it's really good setup the way that this footprint's set up to stare at this gate. You know, especially if you get deep, whatever your neighbor camps you, leave this gate open, they're gonna die trying to leave or trying to get in. So yeah, I just want to show that off real quick and fill you guys in on the rest. Alrighty, so getting into the build, we're going to start off with a 3 triangle starter. You're going to do 2 half walls on the right there in your first triangle. This is going to be the spot for your bunker, so do not put your TC right there. Now we're going to put our little section for the TC, seal off the rest with a double door frame and a couple walls. Place that down, place your TC. You can take advantage of the new snapping, put down a furnace with your TC to start. Super compact, super simple. Got room for bags, and just start to your white. You're sealed for now. Just making sure here that we're going to be able to fit that shelf and that window in the future, so we don't have to move anything. Not required, but just doing it to keep it similar to the base door and nice and compact. Going out here, we're going to want to expand this as soon as you get the base mats to do it. The build mats. Sealing 3 more walls, your furnace jump up, a couple more doors, and seal the roof. Just a couple more doors on just so you're not one door to your bags and your TC and all your loot. Jumping up, we're going to do our entrance to the base. Now here, we're going to want to not seal that roof piece right there, delete that. We're going to have a frame with a half wall jump up that's going to be going to your 3rd story. Make sure to build it just like that as shown. This is what it should be looking like. Alrighty, expanding onto your 2nd story, we're going to do some of your early game honeycomb. so that way you're not a 2c4 raid to your neighbors. Let's toss on a couple extra walls. We're going to do square, triangle, staggered as shown. Toss a square right here in the back of the jump up. Super simple. That's what we should be looking like at this point. Alright, sealing in the second story, you're going to get your early game bedroom. A couple windows for your early game peaks. And seal in these triangles for your storage. And then seal the entire roof in with triangles and squares. Seal up all the door slots with doors, the windows with embrasures. If you don't have embrasures, you can use the wooden window bars for now. They're default BP, super cheap, actually super strong for what they are, until you guys get some embrasures down. Toss your box there for the peak if you want a crouch peak. Seal up your bedroom room. You can put a bag, 2 bags in a box there, 2 beds, and the shelf is shown in the tour. Up to you, whatever you got, if you have the DLC or if you don't have the DLC. Good little early game flank defense room though. Fight your raiders. Alrighty, coming up to your third story, we're going to do a frame to the right and a frame backwards. One to your bedroom and one to the rest of the third story room. Floor, open floor room. Your half wall for your half wall jump up, 2 frames, half wall, window on top for your peak slash bedroom. Seal the top up with half walls. And then we're going to do our half wall, delete the bottom low wall peak right there. So you're doing that on all 3 squares. Seal up your triangles on each side, just like below. Frames for your doors. Follow as shown. Super, super simple. Sure to low wall all those look back peaks so that way you get that peak back onto the next story up. All in the jump up, frame, seal, door, boom, that's your next floor up. Really defendable at this point once you put these ramps in. Seal this all up. Someone tries to top down you early. If you got a couple beds, a couple pits up here, probably gonna win that. Slapping down some of the beds in here for your respawns. And that's what you should look like at this point, up to the third story. Alright, next we're going to be building the externals. I'm going to be building with symmetry on for this part, so whatever I do on this side is going to happen on the 2 other sides. It's going to be 3-way symmetrical around the base. You're going to come to the triangle pointed side, build out as shown, go 3 squares out off that triangle, cap it off with another triangle, build back with a half moon, 1 extra triangle, 1 square, triangles back to the base as shown. So again, if this is too fast for you, you guys can just replay it back in slower speed and make sure you get what I'm putting down. We're just going to encapsulate the base with triangles and squares as shown. I'm going to be looking for a footprint like so. Check the gap real quick, make sure you're all good. Put up your half walls and windows for your peaks. Alright, so at this point we're going to do our entranceway in. We're going to do a window right there, 2 door frames. It's going to be your one-sided entrance, and then your encapsulated triangle for your battery, locker, boxes, whatever you want right there. So it should be looking like now at this point. Now this will be decaying if you don't connect it to anything, so we got to build an external to upkeep this portion of the base. We're doing that right here as shown. This out in twig for your simple external TC. The walls as shown, wall that off, door there. Alright, and we're going to seal up the bedroom, connect the external to it, delete the twig build out. That's what we should be looking like so far. Make sure to connect your peaks to your foundations as shown right here. I'm going to do 2 frames. I'll just build the bedroom fully for now. You guys don't have to do that if you're at this point in the base. If you just want to get the shell down and have a shell, you don't have to build this up, but I'm just showing it in this order. You can always switch up the order as needed for your progression. So right here, we're just doing the low wall peak with the window. Connect it back to the 2 triangle peak, and you got your bedroom. Sealed up the 2 doors there. So your footprint should be looking like at this stage of the build. Here we're going to be setting up the peaks to make the mini China wall and just the foundations for the mini China wall. So what they're going to look like right there. Do triangle off the bedrooms right there. Place half wall with the window on top for a peak. Should look like that as shown. Repeat the same exact thing on the other side, super simple. Half wall on top to make everything the same height for your barricades. That's what we're looking like so far. Looking pretty good. Here we're going to slap down our stone gate. Center yourself up as best as you can. Once you make this triangle turret pod real quick. Cap that off to block your noggin. I'll go back to placing that gate right here in a second. Center yourself off as best as you can with that triangle. Plop the gate down. Perfect. Alrighty, sealing up to the shooting floor. We're going to be using some full walls, some low walls, and some half walls. Follow as shown to get those really good low wall peaks. And build some frames up on each section of the shell as shown. If you miss anything or if you want to pause and take a screenshot, feel free to do so whenever. And all of your squares are going to be connected to your main base, not your wide gap, and you should be able to check at this point. Make sure you have the gaps as shown. So again, symmetry is on. Repeat that on the 2 other sides, and you should have your shooting floor looking like this. Going to be sealing in these triangles. It's going to be the spot for your lockers, your batteries, your whatever you want to put in there. Building up to the jump up, you can do a half wall triangle. Do your half wall peaks. Your windows on top as shown. Half wall triangle above, seal this whole thing up. And then we're going to close up the shooting floor up to the roof. Should be looking like this, fully sealed in on the shooting floor at this point. Toss a frame here for some extra raid defense slash save yourself the embrasures for now. This is what we should be looking like up to the roof. going to seal up the triangles on the roof off the shooting floor section, wide gap section as shown. The right side's going to be fully sealed in. The left side's going to get 2 single doors on either side with a double door frame. We have a triangle frame peek out right here. Place our ramps over, and then the door behind is shown. Here, I'll just toss in some lockers to show you where they're going up on this shooting floor. Snapping actually works really well to place these lockers now to get that perfect fit. Place our roofs and our low walls as shown. And then also our coverage for any raid bases that are going to be looking at you. You're going to need to place these frames underneath this ability to place the ramps above. So I'm doing that here. That's the base. Next, I will be showing you guys how to place the deployables and what we're going to be upgrading. Just some of the important deployables. The rest are going to be up to you guys. You can go back to the base store and copy as shown, or do as you like. Alright, real quick, I'm going to go over some of the deployables, some of your embrasures, your turret placement, some of the basic stuff. I'm going to leave all the upgrading and box placement to you guys, because I'm assuming if you're building this base, you know where you want your boxes and your other deployables, so I'll just do the important stuff. If not, feel free to go back to the tour. You can see where I put the boxes if you like the way I did it there. So for the third story, you're going to be using all horizontals for the most part. For the peaks down here, you can go with the horizontals or the verticals. In the tour, I believe I went the verticals. In this, I'm going to show you the horizontals for the 2 triangle peaks. Everything that's a stand peak, I like to just put a vertical on. Put some verticals on here for your low down angles. Window these off, you don't have to. Just more defense if they get rocketed. Pull them off whenever you need to pull them off. I'll show you these turret placements here on the bedrooms of the compound. Stuck in the corner above each side. Super simple, super easy. And we're gonna slap a turret right here in the center. Can put up chain link. It's gonna make it so the base we have to rocket out or explode this chain link, or use an extra 2 or 3 HP rockets depending on how bad the rockets were. Yeah, once again, feel free to put boxes as you need, furnaces as you need, depending on how your wipe's going. Or, like I said again, if you like the way I did in the tour, feel free to go back to the tour and copy as needed. Here we'll be placing some of the horizontal embrasures for the roof. Get our vending machine crafted up right here. Good for extra loot storage, maybe a couple kits, maybe sell a couple things. If you're going to do the vending machine bunkers as shown in the tour, those are probably your safest bet for storing good loot in. Those are just good for selling your tier 2 guns or whatever you want to sell for the wipe. Place doors as shown, garage doors, sheet doors, whatever you got for the time being. Then I'm going to show you guys the window placement and the turret placement for this floor. Build 3 triangles above, let you fit that wind turbine perfectly. Put that turret on the upper shelf, once again slapping chain link to make it more annoying to raid. Slap your wind turbine on the top. Obviously you don't need 3, but Just for symmetry purposes, I placed 3 in the video. Alright, here we get into the fun stuff, the barricade placement. Hopefully your team has farmed enough barrels or train tunnels to get the blades to do this. Make sure when you're placing this one barricade, you try to hug it as close as you can to the wall, so that way you cannot ladder over as shown. You do not want them laddering right there. That would be very bad. So I'm just going to show you real quick with a ladder. You cannot go through that. You will die. So, barricades you can break. If you guys didn't know, you can hold the right click and break them and try again. So it's not a huge deal on the placement, but obviously you don't need. Alrighty guys, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it so much. Once again, this was my first base tour base video ever. So please feel free to leave comments, criticism, what you liked about the base, what you didn't like about the base. If you guys want to see something else, if you're interested in seeing, if you guys want to see shorts on build tech, or want to see more Rust videos in general, feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you guys so much again, and have a wonderful rest of your day.